Hey everyone, in this video we are going to see what is the QR code phishing. Not only that, we are also going to see the demonstration on how to bypass the protections against implemented the QR code phishing. So make sure that you watch this video till the end. Before starting the video, here is a quick disclaimer. This video is only for educational purpose. Don't misuse this knowledge. If you are going to misuse this knowledge, then I'll be not responsible for your actions. So without wasting time, let's start with the video. So whenever phishing word comes to your mind, what you think? Okay, we create a one link, we send to the target, and once target clicked on it, it will enter username, password, and then we capture the username and password, right? So yeah, this is how the typical phishing looks like. Then what is the QR code phishing? QR code phishing is quite easy and you might have already predicted that. We just take that phishing link, we convert it into the QR code and we deliver that QR code to the targeted user. Now, to deliver that QR code, you might use any messaging service like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, or you might use any email service. For this video, we are only going to stick with the email service because whatever the protection bypass that I'm going to tell you in this particular video, that is only for the email service providers, right? Now, you might think that, okay, we have the phishing link, we converted into the, let's say, image of the QR code, and now we are sharing that QR code through the email. What is the wrong in this process? User will see the QR code, it will scan the QR code, and he will be phished. Yeah, absolutely right. But the companies also know that this kind of attack exists. So that's why they have created one thing called secure email gateways. So what these SEG do? Basically, whenever attacker is sending email to the victim, they will intercept that email. They will scan that image. If there is any image in that particular email, they will see the image. And if the image is malicious, they will not send that email to the user. That email will go to the spam or that email will be completely deleted, right? Now, you might think that, okay, what are the other ways around? What I can do? So very first and basic way that you can do is QR code splitting. What is the QR code splitting? Basically, let's say that you have one link. Now, what you do is you generate the one QR code from that link, and whatever the image of the QR code is generated, you split that image into the multiple sections. Typically, minimum you should split into the 4, or you can split it into the 16, 20, whatever suits best for you. Now, you might think that, okay, so we split the image. That means we create separate part of the images. Now, we send that email to the user, but how user is going to put that image together and see that image? Well, it's quite simply. What it does is it uses the HTML table to put that images together and it will form the QR code so that user can scan the QR code and he will be phished. So here is a demo code. So basically what it does is it takes example URL, it converted into the QR code, then it splits the QR code into the multiple images and then it puts back together that QR code images so that it will be visible the whole complete QR code. But don't think that it cannot be detected. Yes, it can be detected. There are some premium email services. If you send too many images into the one email, that will be suspicious, especially if you are rendering into the HTML and they can send your email to the spam. Yeah, and that's where the second way to bypass comes in, which is ASCII HTML render code. Okay, so in this method, we don't send any images. Typically, whenever we need to create the QR code, what we do? We take the link, generate one image which will contain the QR code, right? But this in this ASCII method, what we do is we use pure HTML and ASCII characters to generate the QR code in the HTML itself. So you might use any ASCII character or you might use any specific ASCII character, but our end goal will be generating that QR code. So for example, I have prepared one demo right here. So in this code, what I am doing is I am converting that particular link into the QR code and which is rendering the ASCII characters in HTML, which is showing the QR code once it is rendered completely. Yes, this way is quite useful because first we are not attaching anything in the email, we are not loading any images, so it becomes less suspicious. and hence we are using the ASCII character to render the image itself or render the QR code itself using the characters. Scanners will have hard time to decide if you are sending QR code or not, and this is how we can easily bypass that particular protection. If you want this particular demo code also, yes, I'm going to give you after the video in the description. Now let's talk about the third method to bypass the protection. Third method is content streaming drawing. Okay, so now this content streaming dash drawing method, how exactly we can use that? So this method is specifically used when you attach something in the email, for example PDF. So instead of attaching the QR code image inside the PDF, what we do is we use the vector representation or vector images instructions to generate that QR code rather than using the image. If you use the image to generate that QR code, then that will be suspicious. Once the PDF is rendered, that also can be detected, right? So that's why we cannot do that. What we can do is we use the vector representation to create the QR code in the PDF itself by instructions. It is same as you can imagine the last method, whatever we are doing in the HTML. But that was we are doing inside the email body, and this is what we are doing inside the PDF, which will be sent as an attachment into the email. So here is a small code. This is basically convert the link into the QR code inside the PDF. Okay, so if you click on this particular code, that will download the one PDF file, and if you open the PDF file, then you will see the QR code rendered. Now this is not the image, this is the vector based QR code. Okay, it is generated using the instruction vector instructions, right? So that's why it is able to bypass the protection, right? Now let's talk about the fourth method of the bypass, which is inverted and not standard colors for the QR code. Okay, now if you remember, whatever the AI models that we train or companies train to detect certain things inside the images, or let's say screenshot of the email, right? So all of these are trained into the set of data. Okay, and if you see the QR code generation process, then traditionally we use black QR code or black color to the QR code, right? So whatever the models that AI models that companies are using to prevent phishing, to detect what is in the image, all of these models are trained on the data where QR code is black. Okay, so if I send black QR code through the email, yes, they can detect that. But if I send off black, or let's say off white or blue or red or any other color code QR code, then yes, they will have really hard time to detect that. Not only that, if I use the trick inside the QR code and if I generate the QR code out of the image, then also they will have lot of hard time to detect that. But when it comes to the our phone, Android phone, iOS phones, they can really easily recognize that QR code and scan it. So this way, it is really expensive to companies to train models on multiple styles of the QR code and then use those models, because it's crazy expensive and they are not going to do that. So that becomes one loophole. Okay, so if we create the QR code out of the image or fancy QR code or designer QR code or some other different color of the QR code, then if we send that particular email, then yes, it will have really hard time to detect that QR code, and yeah, that can bypass the protection. Okay, so these were the four methods which can be used to bypass the protection, which are implemented against the QR code phishing. Yeah, I'm also going to create like second video on it to explain more advanced methods. But as of now, let's stick with this video. If you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment. Or there is one website called FluxxSet.com where all cybersecurity research and learners are available. There you can ask the question and they will be answering your question. And if they not, then of course I am also there. Yeah, this video is quite informative. So make sure that you like this video and follow this particular channel. Yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.